Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video. We have the brand new Spring 2022 Chanel makeup launch. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. As many of you know, I have my online beauty consulting service, which is where you get the chance to talk to me one-on-one and just pick my brain about any beauty concern you have. So to make an appointment, click the link in the description box down below. Okay, so I am so excited to share this spring launch with you. I shared some sneak peeks in a Will I Buy It video, and for me, this collection screams spring. I see light colors and I'm just so excited to see this. I picked up several items here today and I was able to do that with the help of Julia at the Holt Renfrew counter here in Montreal. I will leave her information down below if you need a Chanel beauty advisor. She's wonderful. She's the counter manager for the Chanel Holt Renfrew boutique or makeup counter location. So if you need help, I strongly recommend contacting her. So let's go ahead and dive in because I technically have two spring collections here. I know. Okay, so the official spring launch here is called La Pausa, which is a location that we will talk about. Now, the first item that I picked up is the one that I saw in a photo and I was like, I need this. This is a 4-shadow palette. This is the classic Les Ombres 747 Méditerranéen. So this collection here, La Pausa, is inspired by the Mediterranean, the French Riviera. La Pausa is a location. It's a villa that was owned by Ms. Coco Chanel, and this is a place that she would host dinner parties. She had lovers there. She would go there after certain heartbreaks just to sort of recharge and get inspired by the sea and nature, and it was one of her favorite spots. The La Pausa Villa is located in the south of France. It's close to Monaco and Italy, so it has this jet set Mediterranean French Riviera vibe to it. It's honestly painfully chic. You get the beach and the sun and the waves and just all the culture, and it's wonderful. And so this palette here, the inspiration for the logo is sunbursts or bursts of sun. So this is why the shades are a bit lighter. Think perhaps of the different color of sand on the beaches, on the rocks, the golden color of the sun bouncing off of the waves and the sand. And if you look at the logo, it really, or the embossing I should say, it does look like a sunburst or rays of sun. And so that's the whole inspiration here. It's whisking us away to the French Riviera and giving us a bit of a reprieve from winter. As you can see, the color story here is all about lightness, reflection, golden hues, and so the beach and the French Riviera. And I understand maybe for some people this may not be a classic spring. There's no pink, there's no purple, but I appreciate the lightness, the slight shimmer effect of the shadows. And as you can tell, there is a little bit of a difference in the textures. I would say that this one here is a bit more sparkly in texture, whereas the rest of the shadows have a bit more of the classic, more creamy, buttery finish. Now, this is just from the swatch here. When I apply it on the eyes, I'll go into further detail. Of course, this quad here is limited edition, and next up, that is also limited edition, is one of the beautiful blushes here. So this is the blush Lumière Illuminating Blush Powder, and this is the Pêche Rosée, so a peachy rose shade. I love a peachy blush. That is my preferred type of blush typically, so that is why I got this one here today. And this, to me, just looks like a beautiful burst of peachy sun. You can practically see the sun bouncing on the waves on the Riviera. This is what I see when I see this blush here. I think it looks gorgeous. I see the inspiration. I can feel the sun heat on me. I can hear the waves crashing, and I love this blush here. Now there is another blush available. It looks more like a deeper berry blush. I think possibly that one would be nicer for deeper, richer complexions, but personally speaking, I just get a lot of use out of these types of hues. That's why I went with this blush here. Now, of course, there's only one eyeshadow palette for the spring release. I don't know why I said of course. Oftentimes Chanel will come out with like 2 palettes, but that's typically more for like fall collections. I find for holiday and for spring releases, it's usually a bit more just like 1 palette. Let's go ahead and do a swatch of this beautiful peachy blush. This peachy blush is limited edition, of course, and as you can see, it is beautiful. It has a little bit of reflective nature, but it's not a chunky glitter. The texture, when I just manipulated it with my fingers, feels very soft and very smooth, and you can see that it has a little bit of luminosity, but it's not a chunky glitter. Like I said, it's very subtle and just very, I don't know, Chanel has a beautiful way with blushes that just looks luminous and fresh. So I'm very excited for this one here. Moving on to one of the Baume sticks. These are the creamy highlighter sticks. As you can see, it has a very high shine glossy finish, and it does lean in the peachy coral family like the blush that I picked up, but it's not super dark. You could wear this and it wouldn't necessarily conflict with any blush that you wear. I think the peachy hue here is going to be subtle, and I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful. I got into these highlighter sticks recently, and I totally get the fuss. They're very natural, very glowy, very luminous, and I can't wait to wear this today. And I think this color family here just is beautiful and very fresh and just very, very golden, very sun-like. Now next up is something that I could not wait to get my hands on. These are the new Rouge Coco Baume. These are the hydrating, beautifying tinted lip balm with buildable color, and I got the shade 914 Natural Charm. So what's remarkable about these is that there is no clear indication that these are limited edition. So we may in fact keep these permanently. How exciting. It looks like the tube for a Rouge Coco Flash or even a Rouge Coco Bloom. It's really just the same tube style as these glossy lipsticks. Except this one here is called the Rouge Coco Baume, which has existed before. There is a clear lip balm in this tube style, but this one claims to have a beautifying and buildable color. So I saw these. I love the tube. I love the white and gold. It looks so fresh. It looks new and just fresh and light and perfect for spring. So let's go ahead and swatch this one here. Here we have the new Rouge Coco Baume in Natural Charm. Then we have the Rouge Coco Flash in 82 Live or Live. Then we have the Rouge Coco Bloom number 116 Dream. Just as a swatch, I do find that the Rouge Coco Baume does require a few more swatches to get the color intensity than we have here. I think the Flash is more glossy, and then the Rouge Coco Bloom is more buttery. So I'm excited to try this on the lips. I think even just looking at the back of my hand, the new Baume looks less wet. It looks less slick. So I'm excited to see how comfortable these are and how buildable it is on the lips. In the collection, there's also a liquid eyeshadow, which I love the formula, but quite frankly, I have several of the light champagne golden liquid shadows from Chanel, so I skipped this one, but it does look beautiful if you do want it. And there are also 2 nail polishes. Now I am a huge fan of Chanel nail polish, hi, of course. However, these ones here, they just, I don't know, they just didn't call my name. The one that I was most interested in was the light yellow, sort of a pastel yellow, but to me it looked a little bit streaky. And you didn't hear this from me, but if you like Chanel nail polish, I think you will be pleasantly surprised in the next few months maybe for the Le Blanc collection, around there. There may be some new nail colors coming out that to me personally look more enticing, so I skipped those ones. Now, I mentioned earlier that this is technically 2 spring releases. The second item that I have here is from a new lipstick launch. This is the Rouge Allure Velvet, and this is the Comete collection. So for the past few years, there's been new Rouge Allure lipstick collections. There's been Camellia, there's been Lion, which is where you have the classic Chanel Allure lipstick, the one with a little pump up here. I love that, feels so fresh. But then on the top, you get a new logo. And here we have Comets, which has been part of the Chanel motif and design for a very long time. I think in 1932, Chanel came out with a comet necklace, you know, like a comet you see at night in the stars. And so this is the inspiration here. What's interesting is that there are several new colors. Oftentimes with these new collections, it's a lot of the same lip colors, but this one here with the Comet collection, these are new lip shades. So I picked up the Rouge Allure Velvet number 118 Bois de Rose Astral. So that means like astral rosewood. I like a nude lip, and so this to me was my color. There are a lot of dark reds in this Comet lipstick collection. I like a red lip, but I'm really partial to a nude one. This is a classic creamy buttery bullet lipstick. It's a velvet formula, so it's a bit more matte, but it's not as drying as a liquid lipstick, and I think it's a beautiful color. It's like your lip but better. So we'll go ahead and do a full face of Chanel with these new items here, and I'll be able to do a couple swatches on my lips of these new lip colors, and you can vote down below and let me know which lip color you prefer. One last thing before we get into the makeup tutorial, I want to talk about my skin because I always get lots of questions about my complexion. So last night in preparation for today's video, I did some exfoliating and just cocooning of my skin. So I used the Chanel Vanilla Exfoliator. This is part of the Sublimage skincare line. This smells amazing. You get these wonderful exfoliating granules here, but they're very soft. They're not harsh on the skin. They don't feel abrasive. They don't feel harsh. So last night I did a wonderful exfoliation just to get rid of any debris, any makeup, pollution, you know, all that wonderful stuff. And then I followed the exfoliation with this last night and this morning. This is the Sublimage, the Baume. So you can use this morning and night. It's a wonderfully lightweight, hydrating, but very cocooning effect on the skin. When you use this in the daytime, I say use a small amount, probably less than you'd use for a moisturizer. And it just creates this like barrier of nourishment and hydration because it's quite cold here right now. And I just think that my skin looks glowy and luminous and ready for this beautiful French Riviera collection. So without any more blabbing, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial here. Now, if you're new to my channel, whenever I get new collections, I do multiple different looks. So I would highly recommend that you subscribe to my channel because I will certainly be using this a lot on my channel because, spoiler, I love the palette. All of the makeup brushes that I'm using today will be listed in the description box down below. A lot of them are Chanel because I really like Chanel makeup brushes, especially the eyes. I think that they are greatly underappreciated. To start off, I'm going into this shade down here. This first shade here is applying very, very nicely. I think that a lot of the more classic Chanel clients will see themselves a bit more in this palette here, in this collection, because I think a lot of people, myself included, have been alienated a bit by all of the red eyeshadows. Like, listen, I like red eyeshadow, but I don't want it for every single collection. And so seeing something light and fresh and natural and everyday, I think is going to appeal to a lot of the more classic, traditional Chanel clients. Now I'm switching up my brush here and I'm going into this top shade, And I'm going to add this a little bit in the outer corner of the eye here. I would say that the formula for the shadows here is beautiful and like a satiny luminous. You will not get any mattes in this palette here, but also it doesn't look like a chunky glitter. You just get a nice amount of light and luminosity in your eyeshadow. Now let's dip into this bottom color here. This looks like it has a little tinge of green to it, but I'm not certain. Mixed together like this, it certainly doesn't look green. It just sort of has like a bronzy gold, and in certain lights it does look like it has maybe a whisper of khaki, but when you look at me like this, it doesn't look green. I would say that this here is the darkest shade in the palette, and it's subtle but also quite buildable. You could go darker and deeper with this if you wanted to, but it has a nice subtlety to it, so it's not going to be too dark, too intense, too quickly. I am tempted to use this one here, which is so surprising because typically I always say just because there are 4 shadows in a palette does not mean you need to use all 4 at once, but I'm kind of feeling it. I just like this very light, ethereal look, so I'm gonna go ahead and just press a little bit of this last color here on the lid. Now, I'm not really noticing that much fallout, a little bit, but not that much. I think it's coming from the darkest color, which makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up and be right back. Now to finish up the eyes, I'm going into my Chanel Stylo Yeux, which is a waterproof liner in number 88, and the Volume de Chanel, a classic black mascara. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Baume stick Ensoleillé, my sunny glossy highlighter stick, and I'm going to use it before my foundation. I like to layer it underneath. I find that it gives more of a subtle, natural, lit from within glow. So just applied directly on the skin here, you can see that it does have a little bit of a peachy color, but it's very subtle. It's not going to interfere with your blush. So even if you do this method and you applied a different blush color, I don't think your makeup will look terrible. But I think if you lean into the same hues as this highlighter stick in the same peachy, rosy family, you will definitely enhance this natural glow. For the foundation, I'm going into my Chanel Sublimage L'Essence de Teint, and I have the shade B30. I was so busy with the video and organizing myself and trying to think of everything that I needed to say that I forgot to wish you a Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Welcome to 2022. I hope your year is filled with health, happiness, wealth, and Chanel. Why not? I hope you all had a wonderful holiday break. I know that not everyone celebrates Christmas, but I certainly hope you got some time to yourself, time to relax, time to eat some nice things. I hope you had a wonderful new year as well. I'm going in with my Chanel Corrector number 20. This has a nice peachy cut to it, so just use a little bit less because a little bit goes a long way with this corrector here. What a wonderful way to start the new year with a new Chanel collection. That's so exciting. I have also some more information that you may or may not have heard from me. If you like the Water Fresh tint, the beautiful skin glowing light foundation, there will be the Water Fresh tint blushes coming out in the new year, which is now, but there will also be an addition added to the Water Fresh tint line. So the original is not being replaced, but they're going to add a second Water Fresh tint complexion product that's going to offer more coverage than the original. How exciting. When I saw it, I was like, oh no, are they replacing my favorite? It is not being replaced. It is fine, but we're going to see an addition added to that foundation family. I do hesitate in calling it a foundation because it is so sheer and lightweight, but it's so beautiful and breathable, and allegedly there's going to be a new item added in the same family. You know, we see this a lot in Chanel and other brands too when they have a foundation that goes really well. Everyone loves it. They just add a new twist, something extra just to, you know, add to the family. Same thing with the Sublimage foundation line. There's this one here, L'Essentiel, which is like a really lightweight, runny serum foundation, but we have the one that's in a jar. It's like a really rich, creamy, even lighter weight and coverage foundation. So they're doing the same thing with Water Fresh Tint later in the year. Now I'm going in with this blender concealer brush. So with this side here, you can blend your concealer, and if you have another concealer, if you want to do like spot correcting, you could do it with this side here, or if you have a concealer in a pot, you could scoop it out and apply it like this. But I like this fluffy end here just to diffuse the concealer very smoothly. Now I'm going in with a bit of powder. This is my Chanel Les Beiges pressed powder. This is the number 20. I think this is closest to my complexion, even though 30 is usually my tone for foundations. I like number 20 for the pressed powder. Now let's go into this beautiful peachy sunburst of a blush. I can't wait to use this. This blush is gorgeous. It is such a lovely, soft peach color, and there definitely is a lot of warmth. You get a nice, warm, golden glow, and I don't think it's just from the highlighter stick. Obviously, these pair very nicely together, but even on its own, this blush here is just so lovely. I mean, look at my cheeks. It's just the right amount of flush, the right amount of peach, and oh, it's so pretty. It is exactly what I wanted it to be. As you can tell, it's not a chunky glitter. It is not too intense. You could definitely skip the highlighter if you want something more subtle, but I just think that if you love the classic Chanel blush formula that has just like the subtle whisper of glow to it, you will absolutely love this new blush series for the spring release. Now let's get into the lip products. So let's try the Rouge Coco Baume first. Again, this is number 914, Natural Charm. So I think that this is going to be quite sheer. This is definitely my lip, but better. What's interesting to me is the texture. It is not very glossy. It feels really lightweight, but it's not glossy, it's not slick, it's not buttery. It really feels like a super lightweight lip balm with a lot of pigment. I mean, it is described as a hydrating, beautifying, tinted lip balm with buildable color. So I think if you go into this expecting a tinted lip balm with buildable color, you'll be very happy. I really like this. The texture is different than the Rouge Coco Flash and the Rouge Coco Baume. It's more lightweight and it feels great. It looks great. I love these. I'm glad that these are not limited edition. I love the case. Looks so spring, so fresh. And I am so happy with this color here. I think it's a beautiful look. I think it's very subtle, very natural. You could wear this on its own, like on a very light, no makeup day if you just want to hydrate your lip in a very natural, subtle way. This is beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and take this off so I can try my other lipstick too. The new Baume here also does stain your lip a little bit. There's a little bit of color left after I wiped it off. I'm going to go ahead and use some makeup remover now. This is the Rouge Allure Velvet in the Comet collection, number 118, Bois de Rose Astral. This is going to be a very different formula and finish, and I think a very different color payoff as well. This Astral Rosewood here is also a really beautiful color. Again, it's in the My Lip But Better, but this one here is more saturated, more opaque, and maybe just like a hint more brown. I think the Rosewood is beautiful. I like a nude lip. I like My Lip But Better, and I think the options that I showed you here today give you a nice variety. I think the first one natural charm is a bit more beige, whereas this one is obviously more intense and saturated, but it also gives you like your lip but better, but in a slightly different mood as well. I think both of these lip colors looked nice. Let me know in the comments, which color did you prefer? Did you prefer the new Rouge Coco Baume, or do you prefer the new Rouge Allure Velvet? Sound off in the comments. Now, to finish off our look, we have to go into a fragrance. I know for this La Pausa French Riviera collection, there are different perfumes that are being promoted from the exclusive collection from Chanel. I have Paris Venise, which is not part of the Riviera, of course, but it is my favorite. It's like a soft, powdery vanilla fragrance. There's also some violet, some iris. It's just a light, powdery vanilla, feminine, also very luxurious fragrance. To me, this perfume smells like wealth. And the French Riviera, Monaco, La Posa, that makes me think of wealth. So I think that will be today's fragrance here. Okay, so what are my thoughts on this collection here? I love it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's so fresh and light. I've said this so many times in today's video, but that's how I feel. I know for some people, seeing 4 types of light champagne golds might be, a bit repetitive, but I think it looks gorgeous. I love this light reflective sunburst on my eyes. I like that you do have some different textures and some slight nuances in the colors too. You could definitely create something darker with this one right here. And you could do something very light with just this one here. This one gives like a light champagne finish. So if you just pressed this onto the lid with some mascara, it would give you just like a very light sun-kissed look. Now, the complexion products. I love the Baume stick highlighters, which is funny because at first I was not into them. I didn't want them, but now I love them. I think this is gorgeous. If you have like a very, very light sheer makeup day, you could just apply this on the cheeks without foundation if you wanted to. Like if you were outside and you just wanted to add some glow to your skin, the color added here in Ensoleillé is very subtle, very light, very beautiful. And the blush, I mean, come on, look at my cheeks. This is gorgeous. It gives you that perfect blend of the classic Chanel blush formula that you love with this refined, enhanced glow. It's not too much, it's subtle, but it just looks beautiful. You look awake. You look like you just stepped off of the Mediterranean and you just got some sun and you're just healthy and thriving. The lip products, what can I say? Again, the words of the video today are fresh and light, and this is what this tube gives me, freshness and lightness. I think it's a beautiful formula. What I like is that it's not slick, it's not glossy, so you don't have to worry about it running all over. If you have a problem where your lipstick tends to run, I think you're really gonna love this formula because it stays in place more than the Flash and the Bloom formula. And then the last one here, listen, it's the same Rouge Allure Velvet formula, so a matte velvet bullet lipstick. This shade here, I think it's perfect. I think it's just like a beautiful, easy, neutral, your lip but better. Like I stated, there are several other shades that tend to be a bit darker and redder. So if you do want more colors, those are available as well. What else? I think that is it. That is the collection. I think it's fabulous. I think it's wonderful. It gives me fantasy. It gives me everything that I want. And I think it's really interesting that Chanel takes so much inspiration from itself. Like La Posa, the Comet collection. It's so funny how Chanel always looks inward for its launches. And I really, really have to wrap up today's video because the time is running out for me and I need to go pack. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I have one more pre-filmed video that will be coming out on Friday this week. This is my beauty history series. This is where I talk about an icon in the fashion or beauty world and talk about their legacy and their life. I've done one on Miss Coco Chanel, I've done Dior, I've done, who else have I done? Versace, Estee Lauder. I have a whole list. That's coming out on Friday, and that will be my last video that I will have for most of January. I will be gone. I will be on vacation for most of January. So for me personally, this collection came out at the absolute perfect time. I have just enough time to wrap this up, edit this, pack my suitcase. Don't forget sun hat, sunscreen, and sandals. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to leave a like and a comment. Let me know what you think of the collection. Are you getting it? Have you already picked it up? What are you planning on buying? Please make sure you are subscribed to my channel. That way you don't miss out when I post a new video. Fingers crossed that I come out with a Bayesian vlog at the end of the month after my few weeks in the Caribbean sun. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.